and welcome to the Memberflo Union Dues Management presentation. We're going to do a quick overview of the solution today. The solution is based on Sage CRM and Sage 300. My first thing I'm going to do here is just log into CRM. In the Find menu, we'll see options for Employer Worksheet, Employer Payment, and Reconcile Payments. These are the three core components of the Union Dues functionality. We'll go into Employer Worksheets. Here we've got a search screen where we can search for and view any prior worksheets entered into the system. You can fill in any search criteria you would like and then hit Find to limit the list. I'm going to go ahead and click New to create a new worksheet. The Employer Worksheet is where we're going to enter the report that we receive from the production company pertaining to the union members who have done work in the time period, as well as how much they earned and other deductions that were recorded. So I'll record the employer. I have a sample company that I've created called White Hills Music, and the production company, I also have a sample production company, and which production it is that they've worked on. The pay period end date, and the system will calculate the start date, and which year for 401k contribution purposes does this time period relate to. That's particularly useful at the very end or the very beginning of a calendar year, when a pay period may extend across the end of one year and into the other one, and you have to determine which year to accumulate the 401k contributions into. The related dues and 401k check number fields can be populated if you already know or have in front of you the checks for the contribution amounts, if you have in front of you the checks for the funds that have been deducted from the members. They're not required, but if you do enter them, it will simplify the reconciliation process later on. So I'm going to go ahead and enter a couple of employees. You can search on name or social security number or other factors. What's their gross pay for that week? What were their 401k contributions? And how much was deducted from them for dues? Now, you'll notice that this column here, dues expected, tells us what it should be, and that's based on a configurable calculation as to the dues contribution rate. But if they were to say supposed to have paid 32 but only paid 30, then the system will calculate a variance of $2, and it'll give you the option, if you wish to generate a standalone invoice to that member for the difference, in this case the $2. You don't have to do that, but you can. I'll just set it back to 32. There we go, I've entered them in. Notice we've got totals here for the sheet of $272, and we have the balance remaining that has not been covered by payments that have been submitted of $272. And those totals match. So I'll save that worksheet. Now, depending on your division of work, it may be a different person that's responsible for entering payments, or it may be the same person. In this particular case, I'm going to assume that it's separate. I'm going to go ahead and now process a payment. So again, I've got a search screen where I can search and find various different payments, but I'm going to go ahead and click New to record a new payment. So I'm going to say that I got a check from the production company for dues that had been withheld from the members. So my company, production company, and production, for which pay period. The check date, I'll say that the check is dated today, and the check number, so that's as printed on the check, and that will then be usable in your bank reconciliation at the end of the month. And what's the amount of the check? And in this case, I'll say that the check was received for $62, and go. The system will now go ahead and find all of the outstanding worksheets that have not been fully paid. It will put them into the list, and it'll apply some logic to automatically apply the payment to the worksheets. So it'll do that on things such as the pay period end date, the check number. If when the worksheet was entered, they had entered in this check number, then it would know that this check should be applied to that worksheet and apply that. And then after that, it'll apply it on a FIFO basis, first in, first out. So the oldest worksheets will have the payment applied first. You do have the option, if you want to change the amount of the application, which in this case would leave $2 outstanding on the worksheet that had not been covered by the check. You can't overdo it, so if I try to put $65 there, it's not going to allow me to do that, of course. And then If there are multiple worksheets, then you can go ahead and distribute the check as you would like to do so. And then when you're done, you'd click Save. You'd do the same sort of process if this was a 401k check, and that's the payment application process. And the third component is related to applying existing payments to existing worksheets. So you'll notice when I recorded that check, I both recorded the check and reconciled it against worksheets in one step. It may be sometimes that you get a check and you can't apply it to anything, or you don't know what to apply it to at that particular moment in time. So in that case, you can record the check even without applying it, but then eventually when, for example, a report comes from the production telling you what that check was for, you can then use this function, reconcile payments, to go in, and you'll be able to see a list of the various different checks here that have balances outstanding and the related amounts on worksheets that are unapplied. So here we can see that this particular check has $420 that's outstanding, and there's $210 worth of worksheets outstanding that could be applied. This happens to be a 401k check, and so I've got the reconcile button. So if I click that, then it'll take me to that check and show me the worksheets that it could be applied to, and there's two of them. So there's this one here that we had previously seen, and then there's another one here, and I've got $420. It's already applied $130 to this check. I can go ahead and apply another $210 to this one, and I could reduce this one, for example, down to 0, right? And that will mean after I'm done, there's $340 remaining that I can apply to other 401k worksheets if and when that information becomes available to me. And I'll just go ahead and save that. So we've now completed all of the various different basic functions related to dues and 401k management in the Memberflo system. If you have any questions on this or other features of Memberflo, please feel free to reach out to us or your local Memberflo distributor, and we'll be happy to help you. Thank you.